The duel in the sun was unlike anything golf had ever seen. The heat was brutal, the crowd was wild, and two legends were about to go head-to-head in what would become the most famous final round in golf history. Watson and Jack Nicklaus were tied after 3 rounds at Turnberry, Scotland. What happened next wasn't just a golf tournament. It was pure sporting magic that would be remembered for generations. July 1977 at Turnberry was scorching hot. The Scottish links course was burned yellow and dry. The rough looked like straw. This was only the second time the Open had been held at this remote course, and nobody knew what to expect. The conditions were perfect for a shootout between two masters of the game. Jack Nicklaus arrived as the ultimate champion. The Golden Bear had already won 14 major championships. He was considered the greatest golfer who ever lived. When Nichoulas stepped on the first tee, other players got nervous. His reputation was that intimidating. He carried an aura of invincibility that had dominated golf for over a decade. Watson was different. At 27, he was 10 years younger than Nichoulas. Watson was still building his legend, but he had something special brewing. Just 3 months earlier, he beat Nichoulas at the Masters. That win gave Watson huge confidence. He knew he could beat the best player in the world when it mattered most. This psychological edge would prove crucial in the battle ahead. After 2 rounds, Watson and Nichoulas were tied at 138 strokes. They were part of a big group chasing the leader. But something incredible happened in round 3. Both players shot amazing scores of 65. This created a 3-shot lead over everyone else. The rest of the field was suddenly miles behind. Other players felt like they were playing a different game entirely. Hubert Green later joked that he won the real tournament, but didn't know what game Watson and Nichoulas were playing. The two superstars had created their own private battle within the larger event. Their excellence was so overwhelming that it excluded everyone else from contention. For the final round, Watson and Nichoulas were paired together. This turned a stroke play tournament into match play. It was mano a mano, head-to-head combat. The stage was perfectly set for something special. The golf world was about to witness history in the making. Nichoulas came out swinging hard. On the 4th hole, he drained a long birdie putt and took a 3-shot lead. Commentator Peter Allis said it looked like a killer blow. Poor Watson must be wondering what else was in store for him. It seemed like the Golden Bear was ready to put the young challenger away early. But Watson was a fighter. He immediately fired back with birdies on the 5th, 7th, and 8th holes. Just like that, the match was tied again. Watson showed he wouldn't back down from anyone, not even the Golden Bear. Nichoulas still led by 1 shot at the turn. The back 9 was where legends are made. On the 12th hole, Nichoulas extended his lead to 2 strokes with another birdie. The pressure was building. Watson needed something special. He got it on the 13th with a birdie of his own. Then came the shot that defined the entire duel. On the 15th hole, Watson was off the green and facing a 60-foot putt. Nobody makes putts like that under pressure. Watson did. The ball rolled and rolled, then dropped into the cup for birdie. The match was tied again. The crowd was going absolutely crazy. Fans were running between shots, trying to see every moment. They were pushing against the ropes, spilling onto the fairway. The atmosphere was electric and almost dangerous. Golf courses are usually quiet places, but Turnberry had become total pandemonium. The energy was feeding both players, pushing them to even greater heights. On the 16th tee, something beautiful happened. Watson turned to Nichoulas and said the now famous words, "This is what it's all about, isn't it?" Nichoulas looked right back at him and replied, "You bet it is." Both players understood they were part of something extraordinary. The 17th hole changed everything. It was a par 5 and Watson reached the green in 2 shots. He made his birdie putt. Nichoulas had a great chance too, chipping close to the pin. His birdie putt was only 4 to 6 feet away. These are putts Nichoulas normally makes with his eyes closed, but he missed it. For the first time in the final round, Watson had the lead. It came at exactly the right moment, with just 1 hole left to play. Nichoulas knew he needed to be aggressive on 18. He pulled out his driver, trying to make something happen. The shot went into the rough near a gorse bush. Commentator Peter Allis said he had never seen anyone catch a worse break. The lie was absolutely terrible. Watson hit a perfect drive down the center of the fairway. His approach shot with a 7-iron landed just 2 feet from the flag. It looked like the tournament was over, but Nichoulas wasn't finished. From his impossible lie in the rough, he took an 8-iron and absolutely crushed it. The ball landed on the front of the green, about 35 feet from the hole. It was an incredible shot from an impossible position. Then Nichoulas did something that sent the crowd into a frenzy. He made the putt. 35 feet with a double break for birdie. The roar was deafening. Fans were jumping and screaming. It was pure pandemonium. Now Watson had to make his 2-foot putt to win the Open Championship. The pressure was enormous. Thousands of people were watching. One of the greatest players ever had just made a miracle shot. Watson stepped up and calmly knocked it in. The numbers were incredible. Watson's final round of 65 was the lowest score ever shot by an Open champion. His total of 268 broke the tournament record by 8 shots. Even Nichoulas, in defeat, broke the old record by 7 strokes with his 269. Both players had played golf at a level nobody had ever seen before. Their performance was so extraordinary that it redefined what was possible under pressure. But the real magic happened after Watson's winning putt. Nichoulas immediately walked over and shook his hand. He told the crowd to quiet down so Watson could enjoy his moment. Then the two champions walked off the 18th green arm in arm, like old friends. This gesture became as famous as any shot. Nichoulas showed incredible sportsmanship in defeat. He welcomed Watson to the summit of golf with pure class. The image of them walking together created a lasting symbol of what golf should be about. Watson had announced himself as the game's next superstar. He was no longer just a promising young player. He was a champion who could go toe-to-toe with the greatest golfer who ever lived and win. For Nichoulas, the loss actually added to his legend. His gracious behavior in defeat showed that being a champion is about more than just winning. It's about character and respect for your opponent. The Duel in the Sun changed golf forever. It showed that the sport could be exciting and dramatic while still maintaining its values of sportsmanship and respect. The mutual admiration between Watson and Nichoulas made their rivalry special. Decades later, people still talk about that final round at Turnberry. Fans who weren't even born in 1977 know every detail of what happened. The story gets passed down from generation to generation because it represents everything great about sports. Golf had never seen anything like it before, and it hasn't seen anything like it since. Two legends playing at the absolute peak of their powers, pushing each other to heights neither could have reached alone. The respect they showed each other elevated the entire sport. The Duel in the Sun wasn't just about who could hit the ball better. It was about character, pressure, and what happens when great competitors bring out the best in each other. It proved that sometimes the greatest victories happen when both players win, even if only one name goes on the trophy. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like and subscribe. Tell us, where does the Duel in the Sun rank among the greatest sporting moments you've ever seen?